see you beautiful people. If you guys can hear me, just thumbs up, wave. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We are just waiting for a couple minutes, then we will get this spectacular event started. But thank you all so much for taking time out of your Saturday away from your families, your friends, your church, whatever it may be. I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Give us another minute or two, folks. We are trying to work out some details.
Troy, I'm going to go ahead and share something while you're working out those details.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody. How exciting is this? My name is Gay Russell. I'm a National Marketing Director from Chicago, and I have been spending the last 45 years, along with my Juice Plus passion, working with kids. So kids are my passion. Supporting families are my passion. Supporting parenting is my passion. And just helping kids to be able to see the opportunity for them to be the best that they can be. And I did that through this support, nutritional support that you'll be able to hear about today, which was a way to improve the fruits and vegetable consumption of kids and their lives, and the parents as well, because it's not stressful for parents either. But the thing that we're just so delighted about is that when Troy asked both of the Sears, both Jim, we see you there, Dr. Jim, great you're on, and I'm sure that your dad's somewhere in some of these squares. We'll look for that. But it's such an honor to have both of them as father and son come on together, a part of this. Troy Richardson started this organization of this Zoom event called, Fathers and Nutrition. We know how important parenting contributions are to anything that we do. And I remember one of the first moments when I was talking to a young person and they didn't like the chewables back then. And I said to Dad, well, how do you tell them about the chewables? And Dad made a face. And I said, whatever you model what your kids do. So it is so important that we have a mission to be able to strengthen the contribution that fathers have in our lives. In this country, a lot of the nutrition is women, and it's so wonderful to have a lot of fathers and men on this call. We're so proud of all of you, but we all serve as fathers and mothers sometimes, even if we're not even that. So it's delightful to have the Sears on. I'm going to now pass it back over. I was just sharing some of my excitement about you guys being here until we made sure we had you on here. And so I'm going to pass it over to you, Troy Richardson, and then allow you to gift us with the Sears. Thank you so much for being on today as your mission of fathers.
Yes, thank you, Gay, and welcome Dr. Bill and Dr. Jim. Really appreciate that. We're going to get right into this with the introduction And then after the introduction, we're going to have a couple of short videos describing Dr. Jim and Dr. Bill. And then we will get into a series of questions that I will ask the good doctors. But Dr. Bill, Dr. Jim, again, thank you so much for taking time away from your families and maybe your clients to be with us today. Do we have Zion Gardner and Soraya Gardner on deck? Can we unmute them, please, the Gardner family?
Okay, 1 second. Oh. Lisa, can you do? Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, Zion, Soraya, you go ahead first with Dr. Jim's introduction.
All right. All right. Dr. James Sears is a board-certified pediatrician who is part of the Dr. Sears family of parenting experts that have been a trusted resource for parents all over the world for the past 4 decades. Along with the television career, writing books, and giving medical advice all over the world, including the cyberspace, he is busy with the family's pediatric practice he shares with his father, William, and younger brother, Robert, located in California. Dr. Sears is also an Emmy-nominated co-host of the award-winning talk show, The Doctors. He has been featured numerous times on Dr. Phil, CNN, Larry King, Rachel Ray, and the PBS series Help Me Grow, and has offered medical advice on online sites such as parenting.com, Yahoo Health, and AOL Health. Dr. Sears has co-authored several books that have become go-to guides for parents, including The Healthiest Kid in the Neighborhood and the bestseller, The Baby Book. He frequently travels the country speaking about the importance of family nutrition. Dr. Sears' personal passions include endurance cycling and participating in triathlons. He earned his medical degree at St. Louis University School of Medicine in 1996 and completed his pediatric residency at Northeastern Ohio University College and Todd Children's Hospital in 1999. His goal is more than just treating illness. His desire is to help families make changes for the better. Please join me in welcoming Dr. James Sears.
Awesome, thank you so much. Now, Zion, if you could introduce Dr. William Sears, we know affectionately known as Dr. Bill.
Yes, sir. William Sears, MD, has been advising busy parents on how to raise healthier families for over 40 years, and now turns his attention to the specialty of lifestyle medicine. He has served as a voluntary professor at the University of Toronto, University of South Carolina, University of Southern California School of Medicine, and University of California, Irvine. A father of 8 children, he and his wife Martha have written more than 45 books and countless articles on parenting, nutrition, and healthy aging. He serves as a consultant for TV, magazines, radio, and other media, and is a co-founder of AskDrSears.com and the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, which has certified over 10,000 health coaches around the world. Dr. Sears and his contribution to family health were featured on the cover of Time magazine in May 2012. He is noted for its science-made simple and fun approach to family health.
Awesome, thank you so much. Now, we're going to show a couple of short videos from both of these amazing doctors.
Family Podcast. I'm Dr. Jim Sears along with my sister Hayden. I make it a priority to try to get to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week sometimes. It just kind of wakes me up. To me, it's kind of part of my daily routine, and I almost think of it as medicine. I try to get my daily dose. I've been in pediatrics for 22 years. There was a noticeable increase in what I call the brain problems, depression, anxiety, learning, attention, seeing a lot more brain problems. So my focus really has been in brain health, and it's really starting when they're very young. One of the big things I'm always talking about parents is nutrition and the importance of good nutrition from day one with the babies. Gut health is also very important. We used to think of the brain, it's the computer that runs the entire body, and then the gut is down there, it's just a tube, you know, digesting stuff, but they're actually very, very intertwined. They communicate between each other. As a matter of fact, more signals come from the gut to the brain than go from the brain to the gut. Some meals you eat and you're like energized, feeling great, but sometimes you eat and you just feel like taking a nap. That's the immediate effect of the gut-brain connection. The wrong kind of food into the gut will make the brain get tired. So the cool thing about being a pediatrician is essentially I get to play with kids all day. While, you know, it looks like I'm tickling them and playing with them, but you know, I'm assessing them for a variety of things and kind of doing my medical thing with them. But if the kids are laughing, then they're not crying, and it makes my job easier. So I'm kind of part clown, I guess you'd say.
I think we all have a little bit of clown in us, Dr. Jim. I know I had some great pediatricians growing up.
I think Dr. Jim,
On mute. Sorry, I thought I was on mute, but anyways, yeah. I had a lot of great pediatricians. The main one was my dad. He stitched me up several times on the kitchen table when I was a little kid.
Whoa. Okay. Do we have Dr. Bill video coming up, guys? Thank you so much for this technical support. I don't know what I would do without Dr. Sandra Shavers and Lisa Michelle. Right after this next video, we're going to get into these questions we've all been waiting for to hear from the doctors.
One second, guys. Let me minimize. Okay, Lisa, I'm gonna ask you to pull that one up if you can.
Okay, I can do that. Go ahead, stop share and I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
I always say these technical difficulties allow us an opportunity to be calm for a moment and reflect on how important we make internet stuff and computer things, huh? So thank you, Lisa. Teamwork.
Okay.
Lisa, no volume.
It takes more than an apple a day to keep the doctor away. Doctor means teacher. We need to be teaching our patients about better nutrition. One of the main benefits of Juice Plus that appeals to me as a doctor is it's backed up by solid research. And in fact, I tell my patients, when anyone recommends a supplement to you, ask them two questions. First of all, is there solid science that the supplement gets into your body in the first place? Does it get into the bloodstream? Yes, for Juice Plus. Secondly, is there solid science showing once it gets into the bloodstream, does it do good and healthful things for you? Check. Juice Plus does good, healthful things for the body. I recommend Juice Plus to my patients because it's backed up by solid science and it makes good sense. But Juice Plus helps fill in the gaps. And as a supplement, it's just that, an addition to, not a substitute for eating more fruits and vegetables.
Awesome, awesome,
It takes
awesome.
more than an apple a day to keep the doctor.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa Michelle. And Dr. Bill and Dr. Jim, again, welcome to the fan club, Fathers in Nutrition. And I hope the outcome of this is today that we can all get to know a little bit more about you and how both of you as dads and granddad, maybe granddads, but are setting the tone for nutrition, not only in your home, but in your practice. So I'm going to start off, Dr. Bill, with the question for you is, first of all, where did this, you started it all, this family, 8 kids, beautiful wife, Martha. Where did you grow up and what did nutrition look like for you as a young, young lad? Can we unmute Dr. Bill?
He is unmuted.
Can you hear me? Did he hear me?
Is he here?
Yeah, I don't see Dr.
I
Bill.
don't see him. I don't see him here.
Gotcha. I texted him the new Zoom link. Let me just make sure I gave him the right numbers. 847-524-2110.
Password 1135.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Jim, while we're waiting for your dad,
Mm-hmm.
let's just get that question for you. How did you set the tone in your family?
You know, it's interesting. I myself growing up, people often think, hey, your dad was a pediatrician, so I bet you grew up because of that. You were, a pretty healthy lifestyle as a kid, and I did have a healthy lifestyle. However, it was more because my mom was a complete health nut. My dad's words, and it just she just kind of bought in really early to that whole sugar is she used to call it poison, and she was probably pretty extreme back in the day, and I'm talking about 45 years ago, but there just wasn't junk food in the house. If you looked at the pantry, there's lots of whole fruit foods. She kind of made, I remember she would make her own granola. Not that granola is all that good for you, but back then we thought it was. And I remember the kitchen being filled with the smell of baking granola. And but we just didn't have the sugar cereals. We hardly ever ate out. It was a very rare treat if we to eat out at a restaurant, and McDonald's, forget about it, maybe once a month. And and it was never from my parents. It was when my grandma, she would pick us up, me and my brother, from swimming lesson, and we'd always be just starving. I mean, after swimming as a kid, you're just going to be starving. And she'd usually have some crackers or something as a snack, but every once in a while she'd take us through McDonald's, and that was like a mind-blowing treat, which kind of bums me. It bums me out compared to kids these days, and I was going to get into this later, but nowadays McDonald's is like, well, no big deal. It's just it's a Tuesday afternoon, a normal thing for them, and so when I eventually had my own family, my wife and I, we were very much on the same page, and we tried to treat fast food, restaurant food, junk food as what it should be, a once in a while special occasion. We'd hit the McDonald's when the little league team, when one of their soccer teams won, you know, it was the end of the season or something like that. It was always a big deal. There was a reason to go, not just like, you know, kids are hungry, they're whining, let's just drive through somewhere, you know, like it is nowadays. So it's funny. So my two kids are grown, 26 and 22 now, and they just grew up. And I wouldn't say we are super strict. You know, if we had a party, a birthday party, we'd buy the chips and the soda, and there's always a little left over, and you know, it'd kind of last for a little while. But we just, you know, if you opened our pantry in a typical day, you wouldn't see soda. You know, I'll never forget my son. He was so funny. Once he opened the pantry, and he's like, I think there was some soda in there for a party coming up that weekend or something. And he looked at it with a puzzled look, and he's like, "Dad, why is there soda in the pantry?" You know, and I remember that it stuck with me because it wasn't just a few weeks later where one of his friends was over, and the friend had the munchies, and he was looking in the pantry, and he asked, "Hey, where's your soda?" You know, and there wasn't any at the time. So, you know, I always thought it was a very interesting difference between when a child looks in the pantry and is puzzled why there is soda, or puzzled why there isn't soda, you know. But anyway, so we just kind of, our kids grew up just knowing that at home we ate well, and there was no whining. There was just no negotiation. We offered good, yummy tasting food, but it was fruits, veggies, lean meats, and we just didn't really have the junk, the dessert. You know, we never really did the dessert every night kind of a thing. It was just not a big deal, you know. So
yes.
So that's kind of how my kids grew up. Now I've had to do this twice though. Now I have a kind of a new family, and a stepdaughter who didn't grow up that way. And she, you know, we started this new family, and she was 9, and she was already a hardcore beige diet kind of a person, where you know, if it's beige, she'll eat it: chicken nuggets, fries, macaroni and cheese. That was pretty much her diet. And we've I thought when I got married to my new wife and everything, I thought, I'll just go back to how I did it before. You know, that's how I've been doing it. And oh no, it was not to be. It's been a struggle. You know, just, I don't know if any of you out there are step parents. That just in itself, it can be a struggle to try to ingrain your own morals and values, especially, you know, when it comes to nutrition. And it's funny, little Callie, she's great, but she's got her own mind, and she many times when she's looking for the junk food, and there isn't any, she'll complain to Mom, why'd you have to marry a doctor?
Wow.
You know. But now she's almost 15, and it's one of those things. She's you know, I've just kind of had to let that go. We do what we can, and we make sure she gets healthy supplements to kind of bridge that gap between what she should be eating and what she is actually eating. So, all right, I could ramble on and on about this, but so I'll let us move on.
Okay, well, awesome. Is Dr. Bill, your dad, is he in with us yet? No? Well.
Oh.
We will continue on until Dr. Bill is able to join us.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Jim, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Dr. Jim, that's just what happens in families. Sometimes, you know, you cover for your dad. Sometimes your dad covers for you, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Now, Dr. Jim, as a financial professional, I see a lot of statistics, mortality, morbidity, you know, the at-risk groups. And as a pediatrician, what is your approach when you are seeing someone that you know is at a higher risk of disease? Do you change your approach? Do you educate them differently, or do you spend more time on education with them? I asked this question to my own doctor, and she thought it was a great question. So I said, let me ask Dr. Jim, his approach when he, comes into contact with the group that he knows is at a higher risk of disease and might need more education? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's I think most doctors have a huge variety of patients, and I've got my group of patients that I call them my pure families, where they're eating tons of fruits and veggies and fish and staying away from the junk, and I really see a difference. Those kids just don't get sick nearly as much, but then I have my other families, and wow, it can be really disheartening because I've been doing this now for 26 years. Do the math, 24 years. Sorry, you'd think, you're preaching something for 26 years or 24 years, and you'd hope that the message is getting across, but it seems just in general, my patients are getting sicker and sicker and eating less and less fruits and veggies overall. I've got my pure ones, but I actually have recently practiced in two areas. I've got my nice, comfortable practice here in Orange County. A lot of educated parents with resources, and a lot of them have really good food. But then I also have been covering in an urgent care, kind of in an underserved population, and wow, the difference in nutrition knowledge is it's a vast chasm. I'll be taking care, and of course, an urgent care situation isn't usually where you're doing a lot of nutritional education, but just in general health care, I'll see, the child maybe say, yeah, we saw our doctor 2 days ago and they put me on this medicine for this and that, and now they're having this problem, so they came to see me on a Saturday up at the urgent care. And man, the things that they say their doctors is having them doing, it just sometimes is just mind-boggling in terms of maybe not the best medicine. And I can often tell that other doctor just wanted to do the quick solution, just quick write the prescription. Here's a prescription for this, even though, lifestyle changes would have been a better option. But those patients just often aren't getting that education because it takes a lot of the doctor's time. And some of the doctors out there just aren't doing it. So it's discouraging when I don't have the time. When I'm in the urgent care and I need to see 60 patients in 10 hours, and we just, runny noses and coughs and pneumonias and broken bones and stitches, and then, but I see what these patients, what they're really needing is a better lifestyle, and it's frustrating not to have that time. But, and that's where we hope programs like this, books that we've written, I'll often recommend my books to those patients. A lot of great websites out there with good knowledge. So there you go.
Awesome. Okay, we had an iPhone join. Is that Dr. Bill?
I don't know.
Okay. Dr. Bill, are you out there? Someone is waving. Is that Dr. Bill waving? Is he? Can we unmute that iPhone? No, is that not him? Okay, Dr. Jim, let's continue.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is the Fathers in Nutrition. So let's talk about your dad. First, let us know where he grew up at, and how and I know you said it was your mom, but since Juice Plus, what advice has he given you? And this is a two-part question. And what Juice Plus products do you guys personally use? If you can answer for him and yourself.
Sure. I use the fruit blend and the veggie blend and the berry blend, the red, green, and the purple. I use the shakes, got them right over there, and the omega blend, the wonderful fish-free omega blend. I also got my gummies. I think you can see a box back there. That's actually my office supply. I hand them out. I've got just the little packages that I hand out to all the kids. In my office, I've got a poster. Let me see if I can show it to you. Let's see. Here, see if that does that work. Yeah, we've got this poster in each of all of my exam rooms, and I use this to just try to gauge how much fruits and veggies the kids are eating. And this was created by somebody at Juice Plus. That's why it kind of came to mind. It's funny because time after time, I will have a parent, when I'm asking how many fruits and veggies, are they getting enough? Oh yeah, little Johnny, he eats tons of fruits and veggies. And I go, okay, fine. And I just could leave it there, but I go, well, walk me through that. What does a typical day look? Well, he's, he has cereal for breakfast. But then I'll put some pears in his lunch, and maybe he'll have some broccoli at dinner. I'm like, okay, well, that was 2. That was 1 of each. That's not 10. And we so I see the kids and in the office say, look, we need to really get 10 fistfuls. And I know some people use bigger numbers than that, but if I could get most of my patients just to do 5 of each, 10 total, I would be a happy doctor. So I use this to kind of let the kids see, hey, if you want to be a fast runner or you want to be really good at your ballet, then make sure you get all the different colors and to make sure you get 10 fistfuls. All right, let me see if I can get rid of that. Okay, good. So those are the Juice Plus products I use. Man, I literally try to make sure I mention it to every patient, because like I said a minute ago, even my patients that say, oh yeah, they eat tons of fruits and veggies, when you really get into it, they're not. And then of course the parents, the patients that aren't, hardly eating any fruits and veggies, that's even more important. And that's one of the things that we do with my stepdaughter, even though she, probably hasn't eaten a real fruit and veggie. Yeah, she eats some salads here and there, but Juice Plus, I think, is vital to her because of it really, I think, helps counteract a lot of the other poor nutrition choices that she's making.
Absolutely. And for those doctors out there who might not know about Juice Plus, and as many of the doctors I've done events with have said, that doctors are not trained on nutrition. For the doctors out there that might be listening today and might hear this recording at a later date, what would you say to them about incorporating nutrition into their practice? Not only education, but giving them the ability to get a product such as Juice Plus.
I think it was funny. I've been recommending Juice Plus as a physician for over 20 years now. It's funny, when I joined my father's practice, he was already recommending Juice Plus to the patients, and a lot of my patients, I just joined his practice, so I kind of inherited a lot of his patients. A lot of them were already taking Juice Plus, and so at first they educated me. I had been taking it, but just personally, and I started to see that my patients taking Juice Plus were getting sick less, and just generally seemed healthier. Less healthier skin, time after time, oh, little Johnny's always getting ear infections, and then the parents start Juice Plus, and they go way down. Things, a lot of just anecdotal evidence like that. But when I really as a physician, wanted to start recommending it officially and putting posters in the waiting room and in exam rooms, I really wanted to make sure there was good science behind it. And Juice Plus is the most nutritional, most researched nutritional product in the world. And just dozens and dozens of studies, I think over 40 studies now, that have really shown some really, really amazing benefits. And that science, it's good science. It's gold standard, double-blinded, placebo-controlled studies, done at some really prestigious medical institutions around the world, and published in some very prestigious journals. The American Journal of the American College of Cardiology probably has my favorite study in it. It's the cardiovascular wellness study. Basically showed that the subjects on Juice Plus had less constriction of their major arteries after a fatty meal. And just the fact that it was done, the study was done at University of Maryland School of Medicine, and published in a very good journal. And just the fact that it was published in that journal made me think, okay, this is good science, and that science happened to show some very good results for Juice Plus. And they've done several studies on nurses, showing decreased duration of cold symptoms, which is something nowadays has become a lot, I used to not really pay too much attention to that study until this cold season has been a lot different than all the others. So I kind of had to go back and reread some of the studies, and they have a lot more, a little different reasons to be pertinent nowadays with what's going around. So it became very quickly, I became very comfortable. I think a lot of physicians maybe hesitate to recommend something that's not, that you're not writing a prescription for, recommend a supplement, but there was just too many of my patients thriving on it. And I saw just great effects on myself that it's very difficult not to share it in my practice now.
I totally agree. So much that Dr. Richard Du Bois mentioned to another one of the doctors in Juice Plus that was not at that time recommending Juice Plus to his patients, and he just looked at him in his eyes and said, "Don't you think that's kind of selfish that you're not sharing something that is going to help with your patients?" And the doctor just said, "Absolutely, you're right." And he's been sharing that for many, many, many years now, with great impact. Now, there is a program for busy physicians, because physicians, let's face it, you guys you're busy. You stay busy. I don't think there's any downtime in a doctor's office, except when you close, and even then you're on call. But for those busy physicians, we do have a program which is called Wellness Plus. Can you touch on that for a second? I think we used to call him a wellness coordinator, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yes. I literally still call them my wellness coordinator. And that's a great program. And I have to think that we were a little bit inspirational for that program back when 22-ish years ago, when I found myself, we were recommending Juice Plus to all our patients, but then suddenly there's paperwork, and the patients, oh yeah, they want Juice Plus, now how do I buy it? And it became, there was a bit of a barrier, because I maybe wanted to move on to my next patient, but instead of having to, with the patient that wanted Juice Plus, to sign them up and get the shipment ready and their credit card information, and it seemed like an obstacle for a busy doctor to want to jump into that. So we partnered with several of our patients, of our moms,
that were Juice Plus distributors and said, hey, I'll help you guys. I'll do all the paperwork. And there's kind of an agreement, a bit of a partnership there. They do all the paperwork and all the follow-up and the organization, and all the doctor really has to do is do what he does best and recommend things that are good for you, Juice Plus. And so that's great. My sister has been acting as my wellness coordinator for years now, and she kind of makes sure everything, all the patients that need, it just basically makes it very easy for a physician to have a little, have this in their office. And after a while, after time, it becomes a nice little side income for the doctor, which is really great, because honestly, right now, I know a lot of people think all the doctors out there are rich, but being a doctor is not what it used to be. It is not. And if any doctor's on this, you're probably shaking your head. Yeah. Insurance companies have really tightened up. I was just having dinner with a dermatologist friend of mine about a year ago, and she was complaining that literally the insurance companies are paying half of to her for her services that what they used to, and
Wow.
So it's a tough time to make a living as a doctor, and I'm just very blessed that I've got other sources of income, including Juice Plus and books, and it just allows me to practice medicine less worried about the bottom line, and it's been a huge blessing to me and my family and my dad as well. He would definitely be chiming in on that.
Well, that's great that program does exist, because as you said, it does give you the time to spend where it's most needed, and that's on your patients, and someone else could handle the heavy lifting, so to speak, by providing the information and the follow-up with your clients. But I know Gay Russell is on the line, and Gay, I just want you to come in and chime real quick, because you worked that program quite a bit with great effectiveness. So if you can just chime in, because I really want to speak to those doctors out there, that they're not only a great program, but as Dr. Jim said, their income is down across the board pretty much, and everyone needs options. So Gay, can you unmute yourself, please?
Well, Dr. Jim, thank you so much for what you were sharing, and even just filling in for the energy and the spirit of your dad, because he's been just a significant educator for many of our areas, and all across our country and our world. And there's a couple of questions that I had for you. Was I loved how you talked about the importance of the wellness coordinator program allowing you to be able to get back to the pieces that were important to you. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in is being able to say we can focus on the person in front of us, and those little details someone else can handle for you and do the follow-up. The office manager just left, and I always said she was the one that would make those lovely phone calls and say, "Oh, hi, Jim. This is Joy from Gay Russell's office. We're so delighted that you're planning to come to the next meeting. You have a great day." And I'd listen to her make all these phone calls to people, or to remind them about their next Juice Plus shipment. And it would just feel good listening to her. And I'd say, "I want you to call me with those lovely little messages."
Yeah.
That's the beautiful piece of it. But the other thing that I think is just so important is your father has, as a father and son business, has created a legacy of your whole family. You've got how many of your family work at your practice? I know Dr. Bob from a lot of the autism work that I do, and brother Bob, and your mother works there, I'm sure, and now your sister. So you've got a lot of family that's committed to the success, don't you?
Yeah. This is, I don't know if you guys can see, this is the entire Sears clan. This is when the very first grandchild got married. So all the sons and daughters and grandkids were there. And I'm just looking through, I'm trying to find somebody that doesn't take Juice Plus. I think literally every single one of the people that you see on this screen is taking Juice Plus, and many of the moms are actually using it as a source of income as well. So,
wow, that was just a grand share. Thank you so much. And to look at how healthy everybody looked as well, and by one of the studies that was done on Juice Plus that it does impact the improvement of the DNA. And so when that happens, we're just hoping, as we have heard, that it can be 3 generations. So you see those generations, what you're consuming today makes a difference with how your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are going to be and the have. And so I love the fact that not only, are you a part of this business, and you're able to create a legacy of support, of financial backing too, with sharing this important nutritional health. And I was very much liking too that your discussion about brain health, because I began my career and my interest in Juice Plus through natural interventions for kids with attention deficit and autism and anxiety. As a social worker, I felt like we were not addressing nutrition adequately, and I've since become a brain health coach, and so I was really intrigued by your statement that it's really about brain health. That nutrition does make a difference with how that brain is functioning, doesn't it? And that contribution by the doctor to say, this is going to make a difference. So if you would share a little bit about your passion and your interest and what you've learned about nutrition's impact in brain health, I would love to hear it. I think others would too.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting pondering my upbringing as a child. I think the fact that I was eating really well most of the time, I don't really remember as a kid getting the headaches and the tummy aches and a lot of the things that kids complain of nowadays, and even and I think that's made a big difference. But it's funny, the brain, so the amount of knowledge that we have been able to get about the brain and brain health over the last decade or so has been really amazing. When I first started doing these talks about 20 years ago, I don't think I even touched on brain health at all. It was all about cardiovascular health and exercising, but we've really learned just how important brain health is, and that if you think of it, the brain is a very hungry organ. Even though it's only about 1% to 2% of your body weight, it uses about 25% of the energy that your body uses is going to the brain. 25% of your oxygen you breathe, 25% of your calories go to feeding the brain. And it's like this laptop computer that's got all these programs running, and it's getting hot, and the fan's running, and all that metabolism that's happening up there needs to be dealt with, because it's like a car engine. That exhaust needs to go somewhere, and that's why we've really focused. It's funny when we talk about brain health, when a child comes into the office with any of the brain problems, attention issues, depression, anxiety, things like that, we start talking about fruits and veggies, and the parent is like, well, no, wait a minute, I think we need a prescription. The teacher says Johnny needs Ritalin, but when we really look at that, that all that metabolism that leading to free radicals in the brain and the damage that causes, that a diet rich in fruits and veggies, antioxidants, can help. It just really makes a big difference. So we've really focused on that, fruits and veggies, omegas. It's funny, on the TV show, omega fats, almost every subject that we are talking about, almost every guest, whether it was a patient with MS or a heart disease, a brain problem, bone problems, immune issues, just about every organ of the body, the omega fats can help that organ be healthier. And it's funny, it got to a point, every segment on the show I would throw in, and don't forget your omegas. And it almost kind of got a little tiresome. Some of the producers are like, can you think of another health tip other than omegas? And I'm like, well, I can, but they're not going to be good as omegas and lots of fruits and veggies. But brain health, just huge issue. And it saddens me because the things that kids are doing more and more of nowadays, it's not good for the brain. More sitting around, more screen time, not outside running, chasing around, riding bikes, all the stuff that we used to do that was just really good for your brain. Just that kind of mindless staring at a screen is, I think, really affecting kids' brains. And then of course the social media, go and get me started on that. But that's really been had a negative impact on kids' brain health and mental well-being too. So just brain health and helping parents optimize that in themselves and kids has been a huge push.
Dr. Jim, I mean, you've just nailed it. I mean, on a lot of things you said, especially with the fast food. I tell my kids and my granddaughter all the time that when we were growing up, it was a treat, maybe a monthly treat to go to McDonald's. And it was usually something that had happened that triggered that. But as you said, I mean, you could drive by any fast food, and where I live, there's actually 4 McDonald's within a 3-mile radius. So
Wow.
They're everywhere. They're easily accessible. Now you have the DoorDashes and all the delivery places that bring you the fast food. One of my friends says fast food, fast death. But it's all over. And then with the activity, they're all on the screens. They're doing all the videos, all this stuff that, wasn't there when we were growing up. I mean, you have to be called to come inside because it's dark, but you'd be outside until you had to come in. So, and then just the eating habits that we need to get into our kids, these fruits and vegetables and the berries, and we have the omegas, and we have so many ways that they can get this nutrition inside their bodies. It's just important. And as you said, a lot of people say 7 to 13, but you said as a doctor, if you can just get them to get 5 each, that's a great starting point. And I think if we can get at that starting point to just get them improving their health slowly but surely, because I believe even if they get 5 each, they're going to start to improve, and that will be a major hurdle that we've overcome just by getting them to start a little bit. But I just want to, again, just first of all, thank you and thank your dad when you talk to him. Just thank him for, putting this on his calendar, number one. And I definitely will talk with you offline, and I want to get both of you back because there's nothing like the dialogue with the father and the son. There's nothing like that. And I just want to get you two together on another fan club. So again, really want to get to know how it was growing up as a father and a dad, and from your dad's point of view, which is so critical. But I really appreciate you. You've been gracious with your time, a lot of insight, and we are going to wrap this up. But again, I want to thank Dr. Sandra Shavers, who's very instrumental in everything we do, Team Sentient. Gay Russell, the National Marketing Director, you heard from her. Lisa Michelle, behind the scenes, making sure everything runs smoothly. And the entire Team Sentient team, just thank you. And the Juice Plus partners, again, I'm just so privileged and blessed to be a part of this community. And it's great individuals like Dr. Jim Sears and the Dr. Mitra Reyes and Dr. Jan Roberto, and I can go on, Dr. Victor Payton, Mike Ewald. It goes on and on. The love that we get from one another. And again, my heart gets heavy sometimes. I'm an emotional person. I'm always telling everybody I love them because I do. I'm that serious about making a difference. But Dr. Jim, thank you. I can't say enough. I appreciate you so much. and to the entire Sears family, which was huge. How many people was in that picture, Dr. Jim?
Oh man, let me see.
Incredible picture, though. I mean, America's first family of medicine for sure. And I know we have some future Sears doctors in that picture.
Yeah, let's see. What do there? There's a lot. Yeah, there's the first three boys. Well, I'm pointing to it, and obviously you can't see where I'm pointing. lot in there, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you can give me one more minute, Troy. There's
Brother,
something.
take two. Take two.
Let me just pull up. When I do these lectures, I tend to go over time just because I feel, I don't know, maybe I feel like I'm not getting my point across. But let me just find the slide I want to talk about. I've mentioned the capsules and how important they are, but the shakes, I just kind of brushed over those shakes. And but I cannot say enough about these shakes. If any of you out there are just feeling like you're just not feeling healthy, maybe bloated, you know, a lot of summertime barbecues happened this past weekend, and every once in a while I'll feel toxic. You know, maybe I've eaten too much. I don't think bread agrees with me, but you know, and whenever if you're feeling bloated, toxic, and you want to kind of do a detox and you don't know where to go. I don't like that term detox, but it's a term that everybody knows what they're talking about. I will just get my complete shakes, and I'll just have it for breakfast and lunch, sometimes 2 or 3 a day, and within just a couple of days I am feeling 100% better, because there's, you know, it's all good. It's a good source of protein. It's gluten-free. There's no dairy in there. Lots of fiber, which is really important for your gut health. It's vegetarian. So I call it the perfect meal, especially post-holiday. So anyone that really just wants to feel healthier fast, quickly, kind of a jump start, do a couple of these shakes a day for a couple of days, and you will get a running jump start on a better, healthy lifestyle. So, all right, enough of that.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that's a great way to wrap it up with the complete shake. And again, thank you everyone for chiming in. Really appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and please, please, please be safe. And remember, I love you all.
And we do want to thank the Gardner children too for
Yes,
the
I'm
beautiful
sorry.
introductions.
Yeah, those were very great. Thank you.
Zion, Soraya, you know I love you, Gardner family.
And give them a
Dr. Bill is here.
visual hand, everybody.
What'd you say?
Hi, Dr. Bill is here. Hi, Dr. Bill. He's here.
All right.
Oh my God, Dr. Bill, Dr. Bill. Hey, we're going to talk, Dr. Bill. We're going to do this again, man. I'm not sure what happened, but, you know.
But you know what? You taught your son to cover for you. You trained him well. That's duplication, Dr. Sears.
There you go.
Oh, yep. So,
Hey, everyone, have a great and safe weekend, and we will be back with the Sears entire family soon on another fan club. Thank you so much.
Can everyone unmute and say thank you?
both the Sears, yes.
Thank you to both the Dr. Sears and to Troy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See everybody.
Appreciate great call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.